Okay, so today we're going to focus on how we steam milk and how we pour milk for cappuccinos and lattes and things like that. Ideally, you want your coffee and your milk ready at exactly the same time. That way everything's going to be really fresh, tastes really good. So we're going to start off, we're going to use fresh cold milk. The fresher the milk, the better it'll create foam. The colder the milk, the more time you have to create good foam. The more milk you steam, the longer everything will take and the more control you'll have, but also the more waste you'll create. So the first thing we do is we purge the steam arm just to get rid of any condensation and moisture that's built up inside of it. We do that just by turning it on and off at full power. Give it a quick wipe, and then we're going to position it so it's nice and straight. The straighter it is, the more control you have with the way you move your jug, the less impact this is going to have. The only thing that does anything on the steam arm is the very tip where the jets of steam come out. Everything else is just about positioning. So we're going to start with the jug, and we're going to position it so that the surface of the milk is just above the tip of the steam arm. We're going to turn it on really gently, just with enough power that's going to create steam. And as it does that, it's going to add air to the milk, increase the volume, so the level of the milk is going to rise. And as it rises, we need to lower the jug to stay in the same place. We call that stretching. When we stretched enough, when we created enough volume, we then raise the jug just a few millimeters. And that changes the noise, stops adding air, and then the milk begins to spin around, and we call that texture. We do that until the milk's too hot to touch, at which point we take our hand off, shut the steam arm off, and we're done. When we finish steaming the milk, we wipe the steam wand, again purge it to get rid of anything that's inside, and then we give our milk a quick tap on the surface, and that just purge any of the bubbles we created. We then swirl the jug so the milk becomes really, really shiny. The shinier it is, the more the foam is surrounded by liquid and the easier it's going to be to pour patterns. Ideally, you want your coffee and your milk ready at exactly the same time. That way everything's going to be really fresh, tastes really good. The secret to good pouring is to pour really gently, really slow and controlled. I'm going to start a little bit higher, cover over any white that I create, and then when I want it to go white, I just dip down, pour really, really close to the coffee in one place, and at the very end run through. For more Hasbean coffee recipes, please subscribe to GCN. What controls the texture of the espresso you drink comes down to that recipe, but the brew time controls which flavors you bring out of a coffee. If you don't brew for long enough, coffees will taste thin and bitter.